Being an electric vehicle manufacturer, Tesla is all about efficiency, and China just put an end to Elon Musk's plans for Tesla to produce the new 4680 battery. It turns out that the company, which is currently valued at more than $1 trillion, must depend on China if it wishes to turn the 4680 battery into a reality. China's response regarding this makes things even more interesting as the country shows no interest in assisting Tesla. So, how exactly has China ended Musk's plan to produce the new 4680 battery? Let's find out in this video. The reason Tesla has to make so much effort to smoothen out its trades with China is the trade tariffs imposed by the previous US government against China. A 25% duty on Chinese furniture alone ends up costing US customers an extra $4.6 billion in yearly payments. According to research provided by the Peterson Institute for International Economics, China placed universal tariffs of 8% on all importers in January 2018, before the trade war began. 1 year in, the duties on American goods had risen to 20.7% by June 2019, while tariffs on other countries had fallen to 6.7%. According to the study, average US tariffs on Chinese imports rose from 3.1% in 2017 to 24.3% in August 2019. Since the trade tariffs between the US and China have increased dramatically over the last couple of years, this puts the auto industry in a problem. Tesla is one of the hundreds of automakers requesting that the US Trade Representative renew tariff exemptions on components and materials imported from China that are used to manufacture or repair automobiles. In the United States, supply chain concerns are leading to rising prices for new and used automobiles. Levies imposed by the Trump administration during its trade battles with China are adding to those price hikes, especially since temporary exemptions from some of those tariffs had expired in late 2020 and 2021. Regarding the growing concern, the US Trade Representative announced in October during this year that it would explore restoring tariff exemptions on a case-by-case basis, especially for goods that can only be purchased from China. The flood of business petitions may persuade the Biden administration to reinstate government exemptions from 25% tariffs on artificial graphite imported from China, as well as other minerals and components. However, all of these points beg another question. Why exactly does Tesla need China in order to make their operations a success? Although Tesla is the leading electric vehicle manufacturer and seller in the United States, the trillion-dollar company is seemingly limited by a number of resources that are scarce in the world, such as graphite. It just so happens that China appears to be quite richly equipped with a number of such scarce resources that are vital for a number of processes for Tesla. This becomes especially true for battery manufacturing processes, where the company must depend on resources from outside the US to continue producing batteries at a similar pace. Interestingly enough, China is not just seen as a supplier of raw materials for Tesla, but another untapped market as well. The production of Model 3 has reached exactly the capacity for which the Shanghai plant was initially designed, Towerhead said, stating that Tesla Model Y will begin deliveries to Chinese consumers in 2021. Tesla is also said to have finished construction on a tiny plant in Shanghai that will produce 10,000 upgraded V3 superchargers per year. Kyle Field had a chance to test one out and claims that it can produce up to 250 kilowatts of power, which is enough to add 178 miles of range in only 15 minutes. The fact may be that Tesla needs China, and the automaker is heavily relying on massive sales in the world's biggest EV growth market to assist it in achieving its goals of increasing global delivery figures by 40 to 50%. According to them, this is a goal that has to be accomplished annually over the next decade. However, it's also believed that China, too, may need Tesla. It's no secret that in 2018, China completely eliminated the requirement for foreign automakers to establish joint ventures with local companies, which was exactly what allowed Tesla to build its Shanghai Gigafactory. Tesla is now, strangely enough, considered a local manufacturer and is eligible for the same subsidies and government backing as any other domestic automaker. What prompted China to alter its policy? The answer may lie in the fact that China's EV sector requires Tesla's assistance in order to take the lead in the future electrified vehicle market. It was also just last week when Tesla made 3 public comments that were supporting waivers for tariffs on graphite, which is essentially used to make the anode component of lithium-ion batteries on its cars. Tesla accepted that only mainland China could provide the quantity of graphite the company requires. It was also pointed out that the graphite required is in flake or powder form to manufacture its batteries in the US. According to Tesla, this was in the hands of China and China alone. Let's have a look at some of the public statements by the company to determine the gravity of the situation. Tesla wrote this in their official statement regarding the situation. As a result of Tesla's due diligence process for suppliers of artificial graphite, globally and in the United States, Tesla has concluded that no company in the United States is currently capable of producing artificial graphite to the required specifications and capacity needed for Tesla's production. Tesla may be the leading EV seller in the States, but SK Innovation is quite popular when it comes to the production of batteries and their innovation. In fact, it is exactly the sort of company the US would be looking at if the country were to try and work completely independently from China. However, it turns out that SK Innovation had a similar stance as Tesla. Battery giant SK Innovation, via its SK Battery America subsidiary, also publicly showed their support for an extended waiver for tariffs on graphite. This is what they had to say. A renewed exclusion will allow SK to manufacture quality breakthrough electric vehicle components at competitive prices for American OEMs, while creating full-time jobs that support American families. For example, exclusions will benefit an $11.4 billion joint venture with Ford and a $2.54 billion investment in Georgia. Resource World reported that the average hybrid electric vehicle uses around 22 pounds or 10 kilograms of graphite, and the average fully electric vehicle uses around 220 pounds or 100 kilograms of graphite. These numbers go a long way in showing that unless the battery manufacturing system is completely optimized to work without having the need for graphite, it will continue to play a very important role. Graphite, on the other hand, isn't the only factor at work. Other industry players such as Toyota, Magna, and AutoZone are requesting tariff waivers on items such as electric motors used in car seats, printed circuit boards used in cameras that enable driver assistant features, axles used in hundreds of models of cars sold in the United States, and raw materials. Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, has spent the whole year talking about the stress created by supply chain concerns. In a tweet from June, he had said, "Our biggest challenge is supply chain, especially microcontroller chips. Never seen anything like it. Fear of running out is causing every company to overorder." Earlier last week, he said on Twitter, "Oh man, this year has been such a supply chain nightmare and it's not over." Musk had previously also engaged former President Trump on trade issues, including import tariffs on Twitter. In 2018, in that exchange, Musk said he was against import duties generally, but suggested that if there were to be any whatsoever, they should be equal to duties the Chinese government applies to American imports there. The 1st of December was apparently the deadline for interested parties to file their comments with the USTR. Tesla's 3 comments were among 2,024 entries that have, however, been filed since October, at least according to the USTR website. Do you think Tesla's outcry over the recent matter could lead to an ease of trade between the US and China? Do share your thoughts in the comments down below.